know the pros and cons of living in Roanoke?
In 2021, stay tuned. Hey and welcome, it's Hal Cohn.
And Chris Cohn with Cohn Realty Group.
This happens to be your first time to our channel, 100th time to our channel, or 1000th time to our channel. Please make sure you click that subscribe button and the notification icon so you're notified each and every time we release a new video about living, working, and playing here in the Roanoke Valley. And that should have been bell icon, not notification icon.
That's okay, we forgive you.
Thank you.
We have folks constantly contacting us saying they want to move to or within Roanoke, Salem, or Botetourt, and those surrounding counties. So if that's you, your friends, or your family, please contact us. We would love to have a conversation with you, answer any questions you have, and then find out if there's anything we can do to help. You can call us, you can text us, or you can email us.
And we promise we will respond. All right, so one of the big questions we get from people all the time when they're looking to move to Roanoke is, what are the pros and what are the
cons?
Yeah, we're gonna let her talk about the cons because she gave you the stinky face.
I did do
thumbnail.
stinky face. It was fun.
Hey, that's what it's all about. We're gonna have a little fun today. So we are on Roanoke College campus over here in Salem today, and we thought we'd be here. We're not actually gonna talk about it being a pro, but there is a pro here in the area.
Yeah,
in fact,
definitely.
we have lots of higher education institutions in the Roanoke Valley, Blacksburg, Christiansburg area. Roanoke College is one of those places, and it's just beautiful. And if you look behind us, I mean, look at those columns, you know, you got nice green grass, you got some pretty flowers.
And some celebration confetti.
Yeah.
So
they just got done with
their
graduation this past week. So anyway, so today we're gonna tell you all about the pros and the cons of living in Roanoke. All right, so let's talk about, we're gonna start off with the pros for you today. And let's talk about proximity / location of the Roanoke Valley on the eastern seaboard of the United States.
Yeah, well, one thing you had talked about earlier was its proximity to higher education. There's lots of colleges and universities right here in the valley and a short drive from the valley. But in addition to that, you can get to 2/3 of the U.S. population within a day's drive.
Yes.
And you're within about 500 miles of places like Atlanta, Georgia. That's where we lived for a while.
That's where we met. That's where we got married outside of Atlanta at Unicoi State Park up in the Georgia mountains.
Right.
Beautiful place.
Yeah, and then Washington, D.C., if you'd like to go to our nation's capital, that's a short drive. You've also got Charlotte, North Carolina, and Pittsburgh, but that's just to name a few.
That is, absolutely. I mean, we've got folks that have family in New York or New Jersey, and they're like an 8-hour drive to New York. And the great thing about New York is we've got direct flights from Roanoke to New York City, and we also have the train that can take you from here to Washington and then all the way up to New York. And you've got Wi-Fi, and you've got opportunities there to do, as we always like to say, you've got planes, trains, and automobiles for your transportation purposes. Okay, so if you have watched any of our videos, I'm sure you saw our best breakfast spots in the Roanoke Valley.
That was a good one.
So on that one, you saw how much I like to eat, right? Because I was stuffing my face. So with that, there are lots of actually healthy options. That may not have been the most healthy breakfast I had that day, but it sure was scrumptious. But we've got some healthy, fresh options here in the valley for you to not only take in at restaurants, but then also places at grocery stores for you to pull out, to actually provide you with those healthy meals.
That was a lot to get out.
Woo-wee.
Are you hungry?
I guess so, maybe.
Yeah, one of my favorite places to shop is Fresh Market, and they have a lot of healthy options, and I always feel like I'm kind of on vacation while I'm there. It must be the lighting and the music and the smells that they pump through there.
And then what about the family meals they have? Like family meal for 4? Isn't that the super duper awesome deal
little
every
big
week?
meals for $20.
Yeah. Is it 20 bucks or 25 bucks?
I think they just raised it to 25, you're right.
But they are worth it because they're like normally 50 or 60 bucks. So you get a meal for the family for 25 bucks and it is tasty. And
they're easy.
Dessert,
yeah,
which is not healthy.
Right. But it is easy. They're very easy and simple to make.
Yes.
So I like that.
Yep.
Yeah, so Fresh Market is a good option. You also have Roanoke Food Co-op in Grandin Village. Excellent. We have Farmers Market throughout the valley in most municipalities, which are fun to visit. And there's also
You got Earth Fair.
Earth Fair, of course.
Yeah, of
How could
course.
I forget Earth Fair?
And you've got, at the farmers market, you've got lots of local places that actually provide meat and vegetables, those types of things. And then one of the things that I do love also is a lot of our restaurants here are in the midst of, or have been for a while now, actually buying local produce,
Right.
local meats, that type of thing. So you've got like Bloom, you've got Village Grill, you've
Local
got
roots.
like River and Rail, like you
Yeah.
said, local root. So
Yeah.
that's huge. And then not only that, if you want to taste a flavor that you haven't had before,
Oh.
we've got tons of international flavors here now too.
I love that. I like seeing how everything's up and coming. There's so much more variety than there was 10, 20 years ago. And it's really drawing people, visitors, and people that are living here. They just want that diversity and that ethnic flavor. I love, love, love it.
All right, so if you love fresh local food, you're also gonna love fresh local breweries and
Wineries. Let's not forget wineries. Sorry, I almost I almost forgot about that part. Of course, our brewery scene is really continuing to grow. But I will say that we have quite a few notable wineries too. We'll save that for another video topic. But what do you know about brew pubs and breweries that we have
we've
here?
got some good options for sure. So we've got like Best of Platinum winner was like Big Lick Brewing Company
Right.
this year, and the Roanoke's Best. Then we've also got
Old Salem.
Old Salem Brewery. We've got
Yes. Twin Creeks.
Twin Creeks,
Parkway Brewing.
Parkway Brewing.
Come on, honey.
I'm not doing good today. I'm on the spot and I'm just flailing here.
That's okay.
Twisted Track.
Yeah, that's one of the newer ones for sure. And then so when you total it up, it's close to about 20 breweries here in Roanoke. So if that's your thing, if you enjoy that, you would really enjoy the emerging breweries that we have and some of the established ones too. And a lot of them have live music on the weekends. So it makes for a nice place just to sit back, kick back, entertain yourself, and be with family and friends. So it's a great spot.
And I think two of our favorites, I mean, we like going to all of them, of course, so we're not going to say like we have a favorite, but like over at Big Lick Brewing Company, I mean, they've got the nice fire pits and they've got like the area out there you can bring your pets and hang out. As long as your pets are well behaved. Don't be bringing any pets that are not well behaved to
or
Big Lick.
yappy.
That's right. And
Just
then
kidding.
you also have Parkway Brewery, which we went there a few weeks ago. We went on a hike, and after we got done with the hike, we called my mom, and she met us over there, and we were able to like listen to live music. The kids were like, if you go, be prepared because your kids are gonna get wet and dirty. And why is that?
Well, there's this beautiful little creek there, and you just put them in galoshes and like, I don't know, bathing suit.
Bring a towel.
Yes.
So be prepared because
it's
we
fun.
always show up non-prepared, and then we have like dirty youngins coming home.
Yeah, but it's a lot of fun.
It is. It's a lot of fun, and they also have food there whenever you're hanging out too. So you just make a day of it. So, don't forget to check out the breweries as a pro whenever you're visiting here, and then once you actually live here too. Okay, so we talked about some libations, and what better than having a libation whenever you're actually listening to live music?
Oh, I love concerts, and if you enjoy live music, you're not going to be for a loss for here because it seems like there's constantly live music going on, and we have a ton of venues for you to check out, and you're gonna have to help me out here too. There's Elmwood Park, an amphitheater right smack dab in downtown Roanoke, and then there is Dr. Pepper
I was
Park.
gonna say, just go right around the corner to Dr. Pepper Park, which is by the river.
Right.
So they have continued to increase the amount of concerts that they're having, as well as the artists that are coming through there. They're getting like national people there. They've got these awesome cover bands from the 70s and 80s. So fabulous spot to be almost every Friday and Saturday night from spring through the fall.
Right, yeah. And not only Dr. Pepper Park, you've got all these other festivities like Salem, City of Salem after 5. They shut down their farmers market parking lot and it transforms into a stage, and there's a lot of shagging going on. It's just a lot of fun.
Yeah, and then also similar to that is First Fridays in downtown Roanoke. So same thing, they actually shut down part of the street. They actually have a street party with live music. And then let's not forget out in Delville, so out in Botetourt County,
North Roanoke County.
On Thursday
North
evenings, we've got Delville Town Center. They've got a little amphitheater type venue there where you can go and listen to some amazing music out there. And I think they're kind of sticking with the country theme, if I remember correctly.
Okay.
But that may have changed, so don't hold me to that. But you've got lots of options. You're not gonna lack for actual live music. You're gonna have tons to choose from.
And I'll say, in addition to that, a lot of these spots also do festivals too. There's constantly something going on the weekends, lots of festivals, and those venues do provide a great spot for some of those festivals. And there's short drive. If you take a short drive to some places like Harvester and Rocky Mount,
right, yep.
Great place to see a show. So yeah, there's music all around you to explore.
Hey, so those of you who have children and are worried about school systems, that's always a question that we get. And as realtors, we're not allowed to give you a whole lot of information about that. However, you can do research online, and we've done some as well, so we can kind of tell you what we've heard and what we see based on some of those websites.
Yeah, niche.com is a great rating system. It's a website that has a plethora of information. You can find out about every school district and its rating. Also, there's other websites like schooldigger.com. You can find out more information about schools in the area. And overall, the people that live here, I would say, really enjoy learning of the ratings that we have across the board with our school system. So that's a plus.
Yes, it is a plus. It's definitely a pro. So school systems in general are gonna meet your standards, is our estimation based on what we've heard from others and what we see from our friends in the community. And you've also, and that's for public schools as well as private schools. You've got options. If you want public school, that's great. If you want private school, you're gonna have some options there as well. So you're tired of extreme winters and summer year-round.
Yes.
Well, guess what? You are not gonna have that problem here, because we have four, count them, four distinct seasons here in the Roanoke Valley.
Yeah, and they're all glorious in their own right.
Are you sure they're all glorious?
Yes. They're relatively mild to moderate, and I would say that I enjoy every single one. I embrace every season. But we just talked to a client, we're filming this in middle of May. We just talked to a client in Montana who said it is just too cold now and I don't like seeing the snowfall. And we were having like an 84, 85 degree day, and I was like, wow, that's so different.
So May in Montana and still snowing.
Right.
You don't have that problem here.
No, no, you're not gonna have that problem at all. But we do have a video on that dives into each season. You're welcome to check that out. But just in general, know that the summer is relatively, I don't wanna say mild, it's moderate. It seems to have gotten hotter over the last few years.
Yes.
We're hitting
and it's a matter of the humidity coming up, I promise you, because you know, I'm from South Georgia. I'm used to the humidity, or at least I used to be. But some of these summer days, I will tell you, I feel like I'm back in South Georgia, and I am sweating. I don't think you can sweat cats and dogs, but I sweat a whole lot.
It is hot, but you know, it's summer, so it's 80 degrees. You can find a lake, a pond, a pool. They've got Smith Mountain Lake, lots of refreshment opportunities for you there. Our fall is beautiful with all the mountains turn this gorgeous display of autumn color. That's one of our most busy seasons because of that beautiful fall color. And then winter is really fun because it's a milder winter than what you would see up north and out west for sure, but we still get a little bit of snow, more ice I would say than snow. And our snow average is, you know, last year was maybe 6 inches. Wish we had more.
Yeah. So some winters we'll have a lot of snow, others we won't. So it's like we always tell you in the other videos. It's basically a Hallmark movie kind of snowfall day. Everything shuts down. You can just watch your Hallmark movies with a cup of hot cocoa, some coffee, and go sledding and that type of thing.
And then so spring, fast forward to spring, beautiful time. Every week it seems like a new flower or tree is in bloom, and we do have pollen. Quite a lot of pollen. So
allergies, so Claritin, Allegra, fluticasone, Flovent, those types of things are going to become your friends while you're here for the allergy seasons. But you know, it's worth the sacrifice if you have allergies to get to see all the beautiful splendor that we have in nature when you do your hikes and your walks and your swimming and all that stuff. So as we were talking about, as we fast forwarded to spring and summer, let's talk about those being some of the best seasons here in Roanoke, because why are people moving here? Why do they love Roanoke so much, those that are here now? Because of the outdoor amenities.
Right, the quality of life that you can experience here because of our outdoor amenities and clean air, clean water, beautiful views. I mean, it really does something for the soul.
It does, absolutely.
Not to get too deep here, but but people love it. I mean, when
people's demeanor changes, like she said. When you get to spring and summer, it's like people are out, they're smiling, they're getting all that vitamin D from the sunshine, and they're out on the water.
Yes.
So atmosphere changes, personalities change in a positive way.
Right. And what I love the most is that you can really tailor your adventure to what you're interested in and your energy level and your physical ability, I guess. But what you can do is you can hike on our little greenway paths that are flat and connected. We have a ton throughout the valley.
Super easy walks.
Yes, and
or
you can
rides.
take your dog, you can bike, you can run, you can walk, or you can check out our Blue Way trails. We have a pretty extensive, and it seems like it's really cool. Some of the rivers run right through downtown area. So I think that's a really cool picture. You've got the forested area, and then you're surrounded ahead by some skyscrapers and a hospital, and so that's really
Not
neat.
a ton of skyscrapers.
No, we have.
I mean, our Wells Fargo building is our biggest tower,
Right.
so you're not just inundated with skyscrapers
It's
all
one.
over the place. Yeah, exactly. But some of those blue ways that we're talking about would be the James River. You've also got the Roanoke River,
Right.
of course.
Yeah.
What else?
Well, there's various put-ins you can put in at different locations. But in addition to that, like if you want to do more serious boating or fishing, you can do that too at places along the river, but also Carvin's Cove, Smith Mountain Lake, and that lends itself to a lot of recreational activities. Smith Mountain Lake does ton. Lots of water boating, water activities you can do, skiing.
Yeah, so skiing, wakeboarding, paddleboarding, kayaking, and don't forget about Carvin's Cove.
Yes.
For fishing especially, and for kayaking.
I thought I said that. Did I not say Carvin's Cove? I'm sorry.
You may, if she did, my apologies, people.
But you can do so much in the area, and we didn't even touch on like hiking and mountain biking. Remember mountain biking?
Yeah, we got lots of people moving here for mountain biking. We've had people come from Idaho, from California, Ohio, Colorado.
And these are just our clients. So
Yeah.
there's people nationwide that have been attracted because it is the East Coast mountain biking capital of, you say it, that's what I was setting you up for.
East Coast mountain biking capital of the United States.
Thank you.
Is how we're gonna say that. And that's out at Carvin's Cove. So you've got boating, you've got fishing and water opportunities for recreation. Then you've also got this intricate array of bicycling, mountain biking trails out there too, of
That's
all
awesome.
skill levels.
And then there's Explorer Park, there's a ton of state parks around. And talk about hiking trails, we have hiking in all those places that I mentioned, and also the Appalachian Trail, and you can hike along the Blue Ridge Parkway or drive it. So like I said, you can spend the whole week or weekend or a few months on the trails backpacking and hiking, or you can just spend a leisurely hour on a greenway trail.
Yeah, and if you're coming into town, we did do a recent weekend activity or itinerary for you, so find that video and check that out too. Okay, yes, we could talk all day long about the pros of living here in the Roanoke Valley. However, you are here to find out some cons as well. So yes, we are gonna share those with you, and I'm gonna let Chris talk to you more about those than me, because you know, she gave you the stinky face on the thumbnail, not me. I was like, hey, let's talk about the pros.
Yeah, you're the optimist, right?
Whoop, whoop,
Let's
optimism.
be clear that I grew up here. So born and raised Roanoke City in the Grandin Village area, Raleigh Court, and actually Wasena area
Wasena, go
too.
ahead and represent Wasena.
I was kind of on the cusp of both, which I loved. But nonetheless, so as you're right, there's a ton of pros, but let's be realistic. There are some cons no matter where you live. There's no perfect place.
No,
So
not
we're going
at
to
all.
talk through a few of those. The first one that comes to my mind has to do with the railroad. You know, we were built as a railroad town back in the late 1880s, and we are no longer a railroad town very much anymore.
Nope, we are not. Wah, wah, wah. However, we still do have that historical, iconic, the Conservation Museum, so you can still relish in that splendor of the days of old. But that's why we were called Magic City, right?
That's right, yeah. I mean, that's really literally what put us on the map, was the railroad. So we hit this huge boom. It was called Magic City, a huge development curve. And then, you know, over the last few years, that's transitioned significantly. But I think that I like the route that Roanoke is going. Instead of exploiting various things, we're really focusing on those natural resources and doing wise land use change so we can make sure we love it, but not love those mountains and those amenities to death. So being really wise about it. But we do have Amtrak now, so that kind of brings back the focus of that rail transportation.
It does, and Amtrak is expanding. We saw an article this week, and neither of us can remember where we're going to, but Amtrak is extending its service past Roanoke, so there's going to be a longer trek of Amtrak. And when we spoke previously, Amtrak will get you from Roanoke to DC to New York, those other places if you want to do that with a simple trek down the railroad to those particular spots. How's that?
All right, so with most of the Norfolk Southern Railroad jobs relocating, that opens up a lot of other job opportunities.
It does! Yay! And as you see, Chris had to introduce us on this one, but I got you covered still.
Oh, you're the optimist, right?
That's right.
I'm like,
that's
wah,
right.
wah. And,
Right.
Okay, I got it now.
So with that, I mean, some people will say you may not have the highest paying jobs here. You may not see a ton of white collar jobs here. However, it has given us the opportunity to actually kind of spread our wings, change our direction on some things, and for us to have some manufacturing that's become bigger.
Yeah.
We've got the healthcare facilities are growing as far as education, as far as jobs. And then you also have community service workers. So you've got your firefighters, your police officers, your EMTs, you know, those types of people. And then you've also got what are some of the frontline folks too, which are teachers. So the education systems around here employ a lot of people. And then the great thing that we're seeing also is the fact that people are moving here because they're able to telework. So they're working remotely, and we've got a broadband initiative that's going on. We've got fiber internet going into places. So if you need that high bandwidth ability for uploads and downloads, you're gonna be able to find it in the area. So with that, there is some positive to the fact that the railroad is not here anymore.
Yeah, we're seeing more and more people telecommute and telework that, like you said, clients that are reaching out. So they kind of get the best of both worlds. They keep their job, they bring it here, and then they also enjoy that great quality of life. You nailed that section. Good job.
Whoop.
All right, so not to be a downer, but we do have some traffic issues at times.
And you've heard us many times, though, say you're not going to have bad commutes here, right? For the most part, that is true. But we are going to be honest with you today and tell you about some sticking points that may happen to you depending upon where you're living and where you're going here in the Roanoke Valley.
Yeah, and again, just going back to that, you know, average commute here is about 20 minutes. That's not bad. And we always say, and you're probably tired of hearing this, but you can get just about anywhere in 20, 25, 30 minutes, one side of town all the way across to another. And I mean, I'm talking about like you could be in the boondocks after 30 minutes in some places.
Yes.
So it's a really navigable, easy to access community and valley. So yeah, it's really not that bad, but there will be some traffic sometimes. The main thoroughfare that I think about is 81. Interstate 81 is a main thoroughfare that connects north to south. And
yeah, so you get people from Pennsylvania, from New York, from like Louisiana. You've got truckers all over
Georgia, Florida.
Yeah. Why'd you just throw Georgia in there? You trying to say they're bad drivers?
I'm just saying, it can happen. But there are a lot of tractor trailers there for sure. So you have to be careful, and there are some mountain roads as you go closer towards Blacksburg in the south. But if there's an accident on 81, you could be tied up for quite a while, sometimes hours. They do a really good job cleaning those up, but it can take a while. There's a delay.
Yeah, it's not the easiest to get off and get around. So, you know, you've seen it backed up for hours sometimes. Doesn't happen that often, but when it does, you're like, nothing's going, nothing's moving. So
yeah.
And then if you're looking at a non-interstate type road, so one of the highways and main thoroughfares going from Roanoke out towards Lynchburg, so you're heading east on 460. Then depending upon the time of day, and it's not the prettiest.
Right, yeah, no, 460, we used to live out in that area, and I like it. It's pretty easy to go, but boy, it can get really congested and it can take a while to get through. So that can be frustrating. And then there's also other little pockets like 419 corridor has some issues, especially in front of Tanglewood Mall area.
Yeah.
And then again, it's time of day and what's going on, if schools are in session. So there's a lot to consider, but in general, you're not gonna have a lot of traffic, but if you do have some backups, just be prepared. It is not an ideal, I mean, it's not a perfect place. We do still have some traffic.
That's right. And remember, once you get home to your abode that you love so well, you're gonna have a great place to hang out.
That's right.
And if you're out in Bonsack and Benton Mountain area, you're gonna have these magnificent vista views from your back deck or front porch. They're gonna make up for that time you sat in traffic.
That's right, you're gonna forget all about the
That's
traffic. So we talked about the other industries that we have here.
Where's the frowny face?
Oh.
Yeah, it's a con, remember?
We talked about the industries that we have here, but we didn't really talk about pay and income.
Correct, we did not. And so with that, the con is that, you know, in the Roanoke Valley, your family income may be a little less than the national average, depending upon what industry you're in and what you're doing here. And the great news is, though,
I was gonna say, wait, that just sounds like bad news to me.
it's not, because the cost of living overall here in Roanoke is less than the national average. So if you're making a little less, you're going to be spending a little less because your cost of living is better here. And your quality of life is going to be so much better too.
I get it. So it kind of balances out.
Yes.
Yeah, okay.
So it'll balance out for you.
And it depends on what industry you're in as well.
Correct, yeah. And I mean, some of you may have great paying jobs that you're going to be able to come here and telework. Or you're going to
find great paying jobs. There are still a lot of great paying jobs here too.
Well, we just showed houses to somebody over the weekend that's moving here for a great paying job because they're actually moving here for a new position. So you can move within your organization that has a spot here too. So don't let the fact that your family income may be a little less sway you from considering Roanoke and the surrounding areas.
And we have tons of cost of living videos. If you want to explore that further with examples, we encourage you to check that out.
Please do.
All right, let's talk about one thing that gets under my skin, literally. Bugs!
It's gonna be bugs!
Creepy
And
crawly bugs.
just made me remember that there's a cockroach that I didn't get last night.
That's so gross. So gross. It's outside, don't worry. It's waiting for you. Ooh.
I'll take care of it. So one of the things that I've never seen before, whenever you moved here to the Roanoke Valley, are what they call stink bugs.
Y'all didn't have stink bugs?
No, we just had giant palmetto bugs, which are like the huge, like carnivorous cockroaches is what we had in South Georgia. Yeah, they're awful.
I'd rather have stink bugs.
Yes.
Okay, so yes, stink bugs.
Tell them how to get rid of a stink bug though.
I know how I get rid of stink bugs. How do you get rid of stink bugs?
Well, you don't squash it. Let's put it that way. You don't
yeah.
squish it. You don't try to kill it that way, because if you do, then it puts off this stink, and in the process, all the other stink bugs come out and come to that area. So what you want to do is keep it alive and be very careful as far as like getting something underneath it to put it somewhere else, whether that be outside or something like that.
I'm generally fine with some bugs. It's the cockroaches I can't stand. We don't have a lot of cockroaches. I've seen a handful.
And they're not around all the time.
But the stink bugs, they do come out in like, I don't know, waves, I would say. I guess it's seasonal.
Yep.
But the stink bugs are really gentle. They don't hurt, bite, sting, anything. I pick them up with toilet paper and throw them out the window or outside, or you can just flush them down the toilet like my mom does. But anyways, the stink bugs are fine. Just don't squish them. Yeah,
that's right.
That pheromone, I guess, that they release.
That's right. Yep.
Is really awful.
And we do have mosquitoes. So make sure you have some bug repellent when you're out enjoying nature around here.
Definitely.
So you got mosquitoes and you've got ticks. Ticks are bad all around the country right now. You don't want to get Lyme disease or any type of disease from them, because that will mess you up from a health perspective.
And our friend got alpha-gal syndrome from ticks, but just make sure you do a tick check afterwards, and then check out how to safely remove a tick and treat it after you've pulled it off. So
done that a few times.
And also, I was gonna say gnats. We have quite a few gnats, and especially when it seems like when you're at the baseball game or playing football, playing baseball, being outside in an area, the gnats swarm, and it's so annoying. But you know what? That's summer, and these bugs are pretty short-lived. If you can make it through summer, that's why we have so many screen porches and insect repellent.
Citronella candles, lemongrass, citronella bushes.
Right, so, and you can also encourage bats. Bats are gonna eat most of these bugs that we don't like. So I encourage you to create a habitat for them. Yeah, anything else on bugs?
I think that's it. I'm glad your scientist came out.
Did you get a bug in your throat?
I think so.
All right, so.
Let's get serious on this one.
I have heard that there is nothing to do in Roanoke. And I will say that when I was growing up, there was nothing to do in Roanoke. So I thought as a teenager, there's nothing to do here. It's so boring. I can't wait to leave.
And where are we now?
I love Roanoke. Oh my gosh, there's so much to do.
See how things change with age, you know, like a fine wine. Roanoke and Salem and Botetourt have grown to full appreciation in Krista's heart now.
Well, I think I didn't appreciate Roanoke until I left, to be honest with you, because Roanoke has it all. So when someone says there's nothing to do in Roanoke, which I don't hear very much anymore, I just don't even entertain that. I mean, I just don't want to hear it.
The reason for that is because they're not even trying.
Right.
They don't even want to do anything.
You're not looking hard enough.
No, they don't.
That's my answer.
They really don't want to do anything, because if they did, they could find something fun to do here in the Roanoke Valley, and we've got a ton of videos on that too. But what are a couple of things that somebody might want to do that we've already talked about? Well,
I mean, aside from the numerous outdoor opportunities and the festivals and the culinary feasts that you can enjoy, there's so many activities for any age and stage. There's lots of volunteer opportunities, there's lots of nightclubs, organizations.
You got Center in the Square, you got the Science Museum, so.
Yeah, and that's what I mean, like, if you're a history buff, we got you covered. If you are a family, we've got you. If you're a single entrepreneur, tons of stuff for you to do. So I love that there's something here for everyone, and you can really just make it your home and check out what is appealing to you, right?
Yep. So an example of an activity that we're gonna do this week is actually go to Eagle Mania, which is an Eagles tribute band at Dr. Pepper Park.
I know, I'm so excited.
Me too.
Let's go plan for that.
Let's do it. Let's go pick those outfits out, because you're gonna have to be dressed just right.
Wondering what the best neighborhoods are in Roanoke?
Stay tuned to find out. Hey everybody, I'm Hal Cohn.
And I'm Chris Cohn.
And we are realtors in Roanoke, Virginia. If this is your first time to our channel, please hit the subscribe button, hit the little bell icon so that you're notified each and every time that we release a video about this wonderful region that we live in, where we talk about living, working, and playing, and giving you all the inside scoop on what it's like to live here in Roanoke.
We have folks constantly contacting us saying their friends and family want to relocate here to either Roanoke, Salem, or Botetourt, and we love helping them. So if you're thinking about moving to or living in Roanoke, just send us an email, text us, or even give us a call. We'd love to start a conversation with you.
So we're going to talk to you today about neighborhoods and areas that are amazing and wonderful to live in here in the Roanoke area.
I know, it's hard to really identify the top 5, because there's a place for everybody here. There's so many really neat areas that have their own kind of vibe.
Yeah, and so whether you're a family of 2, a family of 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, or you're single, there is a spot for you here in Roanoke that you're going to enjoy. So Chris is going to start off with talking about South Roanoke.
That's right. We're going to explore some of the 5 most popular ones. So South Roanoke has a lot of history. Steeped in history, it was settled in 1750. And it's here where you'll find the medical school as well as the hospital, Carilion Hospital. So a lot of healthcare professionals are living in South Roanoke, and that drives up the price a little bit. You'll find some higher end homes here, more historic homes, and the amenities are great. There's lots of different options for restaurants. Do you want to chime in with some of our favorites?
Yeah, so in Crystal Springs, a little hub of South Roanoke. So Crystal Spring Elementary School, amazing elementary school, according to what everybody says and what we actually see by the statistics. And then, like you said, restaurants, there's Pork in the Alley, there's River and Rail, and they are just to die for. And the chef over at River and Rail, he was on Food Network, like top chef. Anyways, so, and then there's also Pastel, which some friends of ours own, which is they do pastries, cupcakes, and alfajores, and just wonderful stuff, just succulent.
And then they have Sweet Donkey, which is a really fun coffee shop. Yeah. But in the evenings, especially in summertime, they have bands come out, and it's more of just a gathering spot, a great place to celebrate, unwind, relax.
Yeah, food truck shows up, so you can get food, you can just hang out, and it's all fenced in, so the kiddos can just hang out while you have coffee, and I think they have a beer truck too, I don't know.
I'm not sure.
So anyway, but you can just hang out with your friends and family and just enjoy the vibe down there.
Yes, this neighborhood is very walkable. You can also hop on the trolley and head right to downtown. It's pretty close to downtown, so you'll find a lot of amenities here in South Roanoke.
Yeah, and the trolley, just real quick, it's a hop on, hop off. It's free, and it runs certain days. You have to check the schedule to see when it's running. But super convenient, super cool thing to do with the kiddos, or if your family's in town, like your mom and dad, then you can take them on a little excursion.
Or you just don't want to worry about parking downtown.
Yeah. Okay, let's talk about one of the most desirable family areas in town, right? So that would be Cave Spring, and also known as South County. We're going to try our best to represent Cave Spring. So why is that such a desirable spot? Because it has an A+ rating on niche.com.
Right.
So what does that mean? Well, it's convenient, and it's got amazing schools.
That's exactly right.
So most people, when they're moving here, especially they got families, like looking for the most desirable public school areas, right? So this is one of them. If you look at niche.com, it will explain that to you in more detail.
And it's got a suburban atmosphere. Again, really good for families and retirees. You'll find that this area in Cave Spring is a very hot market. There's a lot of things going on there, and just it's a desirable place to live. It is slightly more expensive than the median home price that you'll find throughout the valley, but people that live there are willing to pay a little bit more.
Yeah, and so you know that. I mean, supply and demand, right? So if you want to live in a specific area, you're going to pay a little bit more. So that's just part of it. And a couple of our favorite restaurants over there would be like 419 West, and then also Cafe Asia 2. But some of the best, Cafe Asia 2, of course, is like Chinese, and it is awesome.
Right, and you're going to find a lot of restaurants here, quite a few amenities, and retail. And retail is really big in this area. And we also, it includes Tanglewood Mall. That's one of our malls around. So yeah, Cave Spring is a great place to be.
So with that, so you got two things to talk about. So we're South Roanoke, we also talk about Cave Spring. And now let's talk about Salem, which is kind of its own municipality and entity within the Roanoke Valley, which has a strong commitment to their community.
Yes, they are fiercely independent, and it is just a wonderful place to live. It's kind of funny because you don't see a lot coming available in Salem. I think that once people move to Salem area, they just don't leave.
And they don't want to leave. And within the boundaries of Salem proper, I mean, you've got Roanoke College, so you've got a college here, so you've got sporting events there. You've also got the Moyer Sports Complex, which hosts like national softball tournaments. It is like A+ type of facility. And then with the high school, the schools here, great academics, and then also fiercely competitive in their sports, like winning state championships in football and baseball.
Forensics.
Yeah, forensics, a robotics team. They're like winning national championships. It's just absolutely a great place to live. And if you can't tell, we live here too.
And if you're talking and broadening it out to more community-related sports activities and things, there's the Salem Red Sox, so that is a really fun complex. And also you'll find the Salem Civic Center here, which hosts some nice shows and music concerts and things like the rodeo and a Salem Fair every July. So that's a lot of fun.
Yeah, and let's not forget about Salem has its own public golf course.
Yes.
Right in the city. It's pretty cool. It's like a couple of blocks off of Main Street. So you can go play golf anytime for super cheap, like $10 I think to walk it.
And speaking of Main Street, just off of Main Street, you'll find a lot of those historic homes that are still here, and they've been renovated and historically preserved. So a lot of historic homes here you'll find.
Yeah, and so if you're looking for the city-centric type thing, you've got South Roanoke, you've got Salem, where you're really centered around actual close to the city. But then if you want more of a rural feel, where you got some back roads and you've got some space in between you and your neighbors, a little bit more space, then you want to look at Daleville, which is a very up-and-coming type and vibrant spot right now.
Right, and that's in Botetourt. Daleville, with this bloom of Daleville Town Center, it's really exploded that area, brought a more small town feel to it, and with it a lot of amenities like coffee shops, restaurants, very nice new YMCA facility. So that's been a great thing for that area. But this is the place where you're gonna step outside and be within minutes or even in your backyard to hiking trails, biking trails, and also those water recreation sports like canoeing, kayaking. So Botetourt has a lot more of that rural feel with some of the amenities that you'd enjoy from the city.
Yeah, sure, and like we said, kind of in the valley in general here in Roanoke, I mean, you've got super access to outdoor amenities, so it's a quick drive at any moment's notice. But if you're in Daleville, it's like she said, it's like literally like you step out your back door or five-minute like walk or whatever. So that's a great thing about there. You got a little bit slower pace. You're outside of the main hubbub of the city. But if you desire that type of thing, like you want to be in the heart of the city, the big city of Roanoke proper, then you might consider
Old Southwest.
Yeah, and so Old Southwest is walkable to downtown. It's walkable to the medical center. It's walkable to the medical college. So. And it's got a couple of restaurants of its own there. And so anyway, so it's a great place to be.
One thing I love about Old Southwest, it's one of the largest historic districts in all of Virginia. So these houses are really beautiful, very historic. They take great pride in restoring these and preserving these homes. So that's a really neat thing to look around at those houses. And you're talking about a more affordable investment there. You want to talk about price points? We've sold a few houses.
Yeah, so in Old Southwest, I mean, like she said, you've got historical homes, and you've got some that you can buy for like $100,000, depending upon the area, up to like $450,000, $500,000. And of course, if you're looking at a $100,000 house, you're gonna have to do some rehab on that puppy, right?
Exactly.
But the ones that are $450,000, $500,000, magnificent historical character, charm, preservation. But it's already been done for you. So it's move-in ready and you're ready to roll, and you're super convenient to downtown. You can walk downtown, you can walk to the medical center, you can walk numerous places. There's Highland Park there, which is a great place for kids to play. And then there's a dog park.
And it's 32 acres. This was Roanoke's first public park. So it's a really neat historic area and just rolling hills. It's just gorgeous. Another thing about Old Southwest is that it has a very artsy feel. There's a very diverse group of residents that make up Old Southwest, so it's a neat area to visit.
And they are definitely a cohesive unit over there. They take pride in their neighborhood, and they really look out for each other too. You know, the couple properties that we've sold over there, the people just talk about how much they love being there. They most of them are like, I hate to move, but because of the community feel there, because they just feel like they're family.
Yes. Now that we've explored the top 5 areas in Roanoke, if you'd like to check any of these out or some of the other neighborhoods in Roanoke, please give us a call, send us an email, or shoot us a text.
Yeah, and we'll get the conversation started and get you hooked up.
Have a good day.
Bye.
Bye. Want a personalized tour of downtown Roanoke?
Here we go. Hey everybody, I'm Hal Cohn.
And I'm Chris Cohn. We're with Cohn Realty Group.
If this is your first time to our channel, please make sure you click the subscribe button and that little bell icon so you're going to be notified each and every time that we release a new video about living, working, and playing in the amazing Roanoke Valley.
It is so amazing, and we have folks constantly contacting us wanting to live here or relocate here or move within Roanoke, Salem, Botetourt, and surrounding areas. Now, if that's you or one of your friends and family, please get in touch with us. We'd love to hear from you. You can send us an email, shoot us a text, or give us a call.
And we'll get to you pronto. All right, so whenever you come and visit, so that you can do your very own walking tour of Roanoke and downtown Roanoke, you're gonna need a place to stay.
Yes, and there's tons of lodging options, great hotels, Airbnbs, beds and breakfasts. Is that how you say it? Beds and breakfasts? Bed and breakfasts that you'll enjoy. But we recommend that you stay here at our historic Hotel Roanoke.
Yes, indeed.
It was built in 1882 by Frederick Kimball of the Norfolk and Western Railway.
And it first opened up on Christmas Day in that year of 1882. And when you stay here, there's 331 rooms that you can stay in. And guess what? No two are alike. So you're gonna have your own cool, individualized type of lodging room to stay in.
Let's go check it out. Let's go check it out.
Let's go check it out. Come on.
All right, so right now we're going down one of the curved staircases, and typically this area that leads to the banquet hall and also conference centers is just a flutter with activity. But we're in COVID-19, so everybody's keeping it safe.
Hence the master on the video inside today.
And a lot of virtual meetings, of course. But lots of space and accommodations for any business needs you have and events and parties and things. But during the holidays, what we love is that all of these hallways are decorated to the nines with holiday Christmas trees. They're absolutely beautiful.
Yeah, huge competition, and our family loves to come down here each and every year to tour around and see the creativity and imagination that has been put in by various organizations to make some splendid and stellar looking Christmas trees.
They are very elaborate.
Yes,
I mean,
they
I
are.
remember one was like this huge Nemo display. There's Lego Christmas trees. There's Make-A-Wish Christmas trees. There's just a lot of nonprofits, a lot of businesses, organizations, and just to see the themes and the creativity is definitely worth your time.
All right, so we've come across the Sky Bridge and we are on the sidewalks in downtown Roanoke now, heading over towards the City Market building.
All right, and this is what you're greeted with. I love it. You're gonna see lots of trees around here, beautiful buildings, lots of history, but right in front of us is the Roanoke City Market. And if you kept straight, you'd see the farmer's market, lots of shopping, and all the way down to Elmwood Park. If you took a left here, you would hit Billy's Ritz and some more shops, and also Todman Museum, which we're gonna go to in just a minute. And to the right, you'll find more restaurants, more shopping, and Center in the Square. So if you're like us and you travel in town with your kids, you've got to find some fun activities for them to do. Our daughters are 9 and 5, and they are full of energy.
And they're always looking for something to do.
Yeah, and
when they're not cuddled up with a book.
That's right, they do love reading. There's so much to do, including this main library with a hidden surprise on the inside. There's also a secret park just off the library, which is really neat. Some really fun options that center in the square, including Kids Square, Pinball Museum, even the Science Museum. The Art Museum has Art Venture, we talked about that a little bit, and Transportation Museum, don't forget that. Lots of fun activities there. You can see a lot of modes of transportation there in a kid-friendly way.
Depending on what your flavor is and what your desire is to do while you're here in Roanoke, one of the things that you're not going to lack for is going to be arts and culture.
Absolutely.
Right?
Yeah, so right behind us is the Taubman Museum of Art, bringing a little interest in architectural design and flair to our skyline. Love it. Inside, there's lots of exhibits and displays. There's lots of traveling displays as well. And you can see this huge, massive glass really just brings itself to a large atrium in there, and it's just beautiful in there. Lots of events that they have. And one thing I love about the Taubman Museum of Art is that they have something really special for families called Art Venture. So you can go in there and play with your child in this like interactive art space. There's lots of like Play-Doh, Legos, dress up, there's a theater area. Yep. It's a huge space. You could spend hours there. And you played there before with our kids.
I have. I did painting, and for whatever reason, I always start drawing with crayons for some reason. So I don't know. That's about my extent of artistic abilities, I think.
So you can really cue your inner artist and enjoy just spending time playing around in the art museum. And like I said, lots of events and activities to participate in.
Once you leave the Taubman Museum of Art, there are other opportunities that you're going to be able to enjoy related to the arts and culture here in downtown Roanoke.
Yeah, I mean, there's tons of art galleries, artist studios you can check in on, but getting away from visual arts, there's also performing arts. So Mill Mountain Theater is a local favorite for plays, and it's just got so much going on downtown. There's also Roanoke Symphony Orchestra. We have an opera as well. So lots of arts and culture here, and it seems to be around every corner.
So let's continue to talk about arts and culture. So one of the things that you're going to want to do is enjoy some concerts at an outdoor venue while you're here in Roanoke, because we've got 4 seasons and we've got 3 amazing seasons to be outside enjoying nature and enjoying some festivities that take place at Elmwood Park. So if you look behind us here, you're gonna see in the heart of downtown Roanoke, it's gonna be center in the square, which is home to a bunch of various museums and activities for the kiddos.
Oh, it's a fantastic place. I mean, every floor is something different. Even in the lobby, you can see this beautiful aquarium, and it is just gorgeous for the kids. Another thing you can do is go all the way up on the rooftop, and they have a gorgeous view of our skyline. You can even take a little snack, eat up there, and relax. They have lots of events there, but a couple of things I want to highlight in there is the Science Museum. There's also the Harrison Museum, which is an African American museum, and one of our favorites is Kids Square. It's like this little city for kids. It's set up with like a little grocery store, a bank, a school, little roads that they can travel on in their little cars. Yeah. It's a lot of fun. So make sure you take your family there. They'll really enjoy that.
Did you mention the Pinball Museum?
Oh, yeah, talk about that.
So Pinball Museum, for those of you who love pinball, they have a ton of pinball machines in there. So you pay one fee and you can play multiple pinball machines hours at a time if you so choose.
There's some really neat historic pinball machines there and some new ones too. So
yeah.
A lot of fun.
You'll enjoy it. after you checked out the arts and culture and walked around some, we are confident you are going to have created a substantial appetite. And you're going to be in luck because there are a ton of international style restaurants here, as well as, you know, traditional American flair as well. You've gotten your arts and culture in, you got a full belly, and you're still gonna need to walk around a little bit.
It's time to go shopping, y'all.
Yeah, shopping. So you've got lots of retail shops that are gonna be nestled here in the farmers market area of downtown Roanoke.
Yeah, and actually throughout all of downtown, there's lots of stores, but just this one block, again, it's Ladles and Linens we just passed by, and then Walkabout Outfitters, perfect for this region.
Yep, because you're going to want to make sure you got the right gear.
That's
so
right.
You can hike throughout the extensive network of trails we've got just right outside of downtown and on Mill Mountain. You've also got, you know, the Carmen's Cove area that you've heard us talk about. But you're going to need the right footwear and the right gear to make sure that it's a pleasant experience for you.
That's right.
And then we're coming up on one of our favorite stores.
It is.
Which has, they have chocolates, they've got great papers, and
Gift
hence the
ideas.
name,
Chocolate paper. I love chocolate paper because it's kind of our go-to store for any kind of gifts that we need. I mean, it's got such a variety of things, and you can get a lot of Roanoke, personalized Roanoke souvenirs here. So check this place out for sure. You can get a little chocolate, little treats. There you go. Here's 310 Rosemont, great clothing store, boutiques. You're gonna find a lot of these little boutiques hidden among Roanoke and downtown area.
And right next to that store is going to be Lottie Da, kind of the same thing. So they all pride themselves on procuring the not normal
unusual
clothing. I was going to say it would not
unusual and fun,
but yeah, it's going to be something that not everybody else has. So
that's right.
That's why it's called a boutique, and that's why you're going to find something interesting and fun with some flair that you're going to be able to wear once you leave Roanoke.
Absolutely. Shop local, please. We depend on it. Okay, so just a few blocks off of the market building is actually Mass General Store. We are so excited to have them newly arrived in Roanoke.
Yeah, and they took the old Hieronymus building here in Roanoke. I can't believe I said that and remembered it because that was a staple whenever I was not here many moons ago. But in Mass General Store, it's definitely kind of a taste of Americana when it comes to like old school candy and toys for kids. But then you've also got clothing that you need in today's day and age as well for outdoor activities and enjoying the great outdoors. So we're leaving Elmwood Park and just came up from the art walk there, and we are approaching the Roanoke Downtown Library at the moment.
Yeah, so this is the main library. It's always called Roanoke Main Library. It's one of the largest, but there's multiple branches throughout the whole valley. This one's especially cool because it has a children's play space, lots of events, and even a slide that goes from the second level down to the first for kids and adults too.
So we just talked about the Roanoke Library, the main branch here in downtown Roanoke. And what we're coming up on now is once you're finished reading and hanging out inside, kids are gonna have
Wiggles.
The wiggles and some pent-up energy. So what better place to come and hang out than, wait for it, a place known as Peter Pan Park. Check it out.
It is such a cool playground. It looks just like a pirate ship, the Jolly Roger, and you can have hours of fun pretending like you're in the ocean with a crocodile and shipwrecked, and it is just right off the library, tucked up on a hillside. It's a neat place to play. All right, well, that's a wrap. I hope you've enjoyed the video tour of Roanoke today, downtown.
Yeah, thanks for joining us. And if you want more information, just to kind of get a little bit here and there, twice a month, make sure you subscribe to our email newsletter. The information to be able to do that is going to be in the comment section. And we look forward to seeing you when you come and do your own personal tour of Roanoke. We'll see you soon.
Bye.